Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. Hope that your day is going well so far on this Friday morning. Hope your week is going well. And I hope some things that I mentioned today will be helpful as well, that will be encouraging. Isaiah chapter 6 records the call of Isaiah as a prophet. And it's just a brief chapter. It's only 13 verses. But it's a fascinating chapter because in that chapter, Isaiah is presented with this truly majestic vision of God and the angels around his throne singing their praises to him. And in essence, Isaiah's reaction to that is just to realize and even to state, I am a man undone. I am a man who is not worthy. But then an angel, one of the angels around the throne of God, took a coal from the altar, a burning coal, and flew and touched Isaiah's lips. And he was told that he was purged from his sins, that he was cleansed. In other words, because of his cleansing now, he would be fit for God's use. And it's right on the heels of that in verse 8 of Isaiah chapter 6 that God says, "Whom shall I send? Who shall go for us?" And then the famous answer of Isaiah in Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 8, "Here am I, send me." You know, when we think about that, we think about the fact of most of the time, or maybe a lot of times, we talk about somebody going across country or across the world and doing some far off thing. And those things are important, usually centered around preaching the gospel. And again, those things are important. But I'll tell you what is equally important for the strength, for the encouragement, for disciples, and that is to go across town or go down the block or to somebody really close by. And the question sometimes arises, well, who is going to go? Who's going to see to the various needs? And I want you to think about the fact that as disciples, all of us, whether we're male, female, young, or old, all of us should have the mindset, the attitude of Isaiah that says, "Here am I, send me." So can I briefly mention a list of Christians and even those who aren't that might be waiting for somebody whose lips have been touched by the coal of the altar of God and have been purged from their sins? They are waiting for someone to take up the mantle, to heed the call and say, "Here am I, send me." For example, do you know a Christian who might need some encouragement? Here am I, send me. What about the unfaithful Christian, the one who's fallen away? And maybe some things have happened in his or her life that is beginning to turn them around and provoking them to reconsider their spiritual status before God. Maybe they're just waiting for somebody to come along with some words of encouragement or admonition or instruction, and they're just waiting for somebody to say, "Here I am, send me." What about the young person who might have questions about their faith? It's the growing process to have questions and then to learn the answers to those questions. Sometimes as we go out into the world, it's tough, and a young person can struggle with their faith, can really be challenged with their faith. What about the person who's older, more mature in faith and in the faith, who says, "Lord, here am I, send me. Let me go to that young person who's struggling." What about the young parent who has one or more children and they're juggling and struggling with responsibilities to the children, with home responsibilities, with life responsibilities, with job responsibilities, And sometimes it just seems as if they're ready to pull their hair out and throw up their hands and quit. Could you be the person, male or female, that goes to them in the attitude of Isaiah saying, "Here I am, send me, let me be a source of strength and encouragement"? What about the elderly Christian who might just enjoy having a conversation because the days get a little longer maybe? Maybe not as many people and family members come around, and maybe some loneliness begins to happen. What about that elderly Christian who is thinking, boy, I wish somebody would say, or somebody would act upon the "here I am, here am I, send me" mindset, and come just have a conversation with me? What about the disciples who are eager to learn and they want somebody to teach them? They're asking for help, in essence, maybe not verbally, but in their life and in their attitude. You can tell this is a disciple who wants to be faithful to God, and they're waiting for somebody to answer the call of "Here I am, send me." What about somebody who may be going through some very serious health problems? And you and I know that if the physical body doesn't feel well, it works on the mental side and on the spiritual side. And if we're not careful, we can allow somebody to get discouraged. What about that person who's waiting for somebody to say what Isaiah said, "Here am I, send me"? What about the disciple who maybe is not as outgoing as somebody else? They're just a little shy and reserved. And it's not that they intend or want to be standoffish or even come across that way. But what about just stepping up and reaching out the hand and saying, "Hello, I know your name. I want to know you. I don't want to just know your name." They're waiting for somebody to say, "Here am I, send me." And what about the Christians or the family members that just enjoy your company? But you become busy, and life can cause us to be busy. I understand that. But maybe they're just needing some company and waiting for somebody to take up the task, to take up the opportunity, really, for someone to say, "Here am I, send me." Isaiah did his work as a prophet for some 50 years. And what tremendous work it was. Probably the most messianic of all the prophets in the Old Testament is the prophecy, or the prophet and the book of Isaiah. And it all started with him answering the question. God says, "Who can we send? Who will go for us?" And he said, "Here am I, Lord. Send me." Let's all of us have more of the attitude so that when God calls upon us to act, we say, "Here am I, send me." I hope this has helped today. I hope you've gotten some encouragement, maybe had your thinking provoked. That's what it's about. I'm one disciple teaching the Bible using technology, and that's all it's about. If you can benefit from this, take the time to hit the Psalm 19 button, bottom right corner of your screen. Subscribe to the channel. If you know other people who can benefit, encourage them to subscribe. You can even just share it with them so that they can benefit from brief videos and conversations like this one. Again, thanks so much. I hope you have a great day. And remember, here am I. Send me. Take care, everybody.